Hey there, everybody. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince. And welcome to Mustang Prince Oral Reports. Well, folks, it's Valentine's Day. Now, normally, this is the time of year for being with the one person who you love and do something special to show that you love them. But, unfortunately, no holiday is safe. Just when you thought Halloween, Christmas, or April Fool's is nuts, not even Valentine's Day is immune from insane psychopaths that can go out and massacre anybody. And there is one film that I know about that is a fine example of Valentine's Day mixed with horror. So let's begin. Released on January 16th, 2009, the movie is My Bloody Valentine 3D. Now let's begin. 10 years prior to this film, a tragedy changed the town of Harmony forever. Tom Hanniger, an inexperienced coal miner, caused an accident in the tunnels that trapped and killed 5 men, and sent the only survivor, Harry Warden, into a permanent coma. But Harry Warden wanted revenge. Exactly 1 year later, on Valentine's Day, he woke up and brutally murdered 22 people with a pickaxe before being killed. 10 years later, Tom Hanniger returns to Harmony on Valentine's Day, still haunted by the deaths he caused. Struggling to make amends with his past, he grapples with unresolved feelings for his ex-girlfriend Sarah, who is now married to his best friend Axel, the town's sheriff. But after years of peace, something from Harry's dark past has returned. Wearing a miner's mask and armed with a pickaxe, an unstoppable killer is on the loose. And, well, as his footsteps come even closer, Tom, Sarah, and Axel realize in terror that it just might be Harry Warden who's come back to claim them. So, what do I think of this movie? Well, to be honest, this film was very interesting, but also very thrilling and intense. But before I get ahead of myself, let's move on to Mustang notes. Now, My Bloody Valentine is the very first R-rated film to be projected in Real D technology and to have a wide release. The film was shot in southwestern Pennsylvania, taking advantage of the state's tax incentives for film productions, as well as the topographical and architectural versatility of the Pittsburgh metro area. Filming began on May 11, 2008, in Armstrong County, along the Route 28 corridor, in locations including Sprinkles Market in Kittanning, the Ford City Police Station, and the exterior of the Logansport Mine in Bethel. Kittanning served as the main street in the film's fictional town of Harmony. The production spent 13 days filming scenes in the Tured mines in the Pittsburgh suburb of Tarentum, a mine that has been out of production since the 1960s and now operates as a museum. The inside of Valiant's Diner in Ross Township was used as a location for one scene, and a house on Holton Road in Oakmont, a suburb of Pittsburgh, was also used as a location. The film was shot entirely digitally in 4K resolution. The filmmakers used the red one from Red Digital Cinema Camera Company and the S1 2K Digital Cinema Camera by Silicon, imagining as a digital camera. Max Penner, the film's stereographer, found these lighter and smaller cameras easier to use. Now, in my personal opinion, not only is this considered a horror film due to all the creepiness, blood, and death that happened throughout this film, but I would also categorize it as a mystery film, because one of the main situations is to find out why Harry Warden is back. There is one scene in the film that was pretty familiar to me, and that was the scene where Harry was attacking in the grocery store. It made me think of a similar scene from the Nightmare on Elm Street remake that came out a year later. But there's one scene that I had to cover my face at, and that scene was at a motel where Irene is having sex with a local truck driver named Frank. Why? Well, for two reasons. One, because they were naked, and two, it became worse when Frank was using a video camera to film it. Gee. Also, some of the deaths that happen in this makes me chill up in fear, especially when you see their hearts in Valentine boxes and blood on the wall that say, "Be mine forever." Also, in my opinion, the 3D is put into very good use throughout this film. While most of it is the background being pushed back, some of the stuff that pop out of the screen is Harry's pickaxe, the miner's headlights, a tree branch that Tom's car crashes into, and of course a fiery explosion that happens during the ending climax. Now let's move on to the cast of this movie. Tom Hanniger is played by Jensen Ackles, whom several DC comic fans might know from Batman Under the Hood. In my opinion, Tom is a very relatable character. I mean, yes, he was given the mines after his father passed away, and he wants to sell it, but at the same time, he's had a rough experience since his encounter with Harry Warden, which not only put him in a mental hospital for 8 years, but also makes, well, several of the townspeople suspicious about him. Next we have Sarah Palmer, played by Jamie King, who got to be in Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor movie. Sarah is pretty much how most female leads are in a horror media. But anyway, while she's a great mom, she's been noticing strange things going on, like her friends getting murdered, and later she finds hundreds of candy boxes and her old picture with Tom at an old cabin that used to belong to Axel's father. Sarah's husband, Axel Palmer, is played by Kerr Smith, who got to be in Final Destination. Axel is the town's sheriff, and he and Sarah have a son named Noah. But at the same time, he is cheating on Sarah with her co-worker, Megan. But aside from that, Axel is a very serious cop, and he's willing to protect the town and his family from whoever is portraying as Harry Warden. Finally, we come to Harry Warden, who happens to be the film's villain, and he's portrayed by Richard Jon Walters. Now, Harry is depicted as a once normal man who descended into madness when his bosses weren't paying attention to their workers, which led to the disaster and subsequently Warden's insanity. He is, well, depicted similar to such, well, horror killers like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, in that he is a deranged silent killer who lurks in the shadows. To me, this miner is, well, very ferocious, especially with what he does with his pickaxe, like killing people, ripping out their hearts, and putting them in candy boxes. But he's also able to smash light bulbs with it too. However, in this film, 10 years after he is shot, it seems though he's returned, well, to finish what he started. But nearing the end of the movie, it is revealed that Tom is the killer after developing a split personality from his encounter with Warden. But there's one part of the movie that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. If Harry was Tom, then how is he able to lock himself in a cage while killing a minor at the same time? I guess we'll never know. But anyway, it's time to move on to my final words. Overall, My Bloody Valentine 3D is a really thrilling movie. It makes an interesting mystery film. A few of the characters are memorable, including the ferocious Harry Warden, but at the same time, it's, well, freakishly scary, bone-chilling, and really intense. So I cannot recommend this movie for anyone under the age of 17, but for those who are at that age, this is a film that is worth watching during Valentine's Day. As for my final rating, well, I'll give this movie an 81% out of 100. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Be sure to join me again next time, because I have to fulfill another request from my theater friends. Mustang Power. Oh, and happy Valentine's Day, everybody.